Have you ever asked yourself who you really are? Not your name, your job, or the role you play in your family or society. I'm talking about the you that exists behind all these layers, behind all the masks. Perhaps it's a question you've heard before but never truly dared to answer. Because deep down, confronting this question means stripping away everything you believe yourself to be. And that's terrifying, isn't it? Most of us spend our entire lives building an identity that makes us feel secure, accepted, loved. We create personas. We invest time and energy into things that seem to define us: our jobs, our relationships, our achievements, and even our failures. But what if I told you that all of this is an illusion? That everything you believe to be you is just a superficial layer, a story your ego created to shield you from a far greater truth? Jesus teaches us something profound in the Gospel of Matthew. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But what he's saying here is that true life, the very essence of who you are, can only be found when you're willing to let go of everything you think defines you. This is the gateway to spiritual transformation. But let me be honest with you. The path to this transformation is not easy. It's not a bed of roses filled with light and serenity as many like to imagine. Spiritual awakening is a painful process because it demands that you confront the deepest illusions that have kept you trapped. And the first of these illusions you need to face is the illusion of the self. The ego is the master of illusions. It wants to convince you that you are the things you own, the titles you've earned, the experiences you've lived, and even the pain you carry. It clings to these stories because it fears what lies beyond, the void. But the void isn't something to fear. In fact, it is within the void that you find fullness. And this is where your journey begins. Have you noticed how the ego reacts when something threatens your identity? It creates stories to justify the pain, to protect your image. For example, if you fail at something, the ego tries to turn it into a label. I am a failure. And if you succeed, it shouts, I am better than others. But the truth is, you are neither your failures nor your successes. You are something much deeper, something that cannot be described in words. The Bible reminds us that we are made in the image and likeness of God. This means that, at our very core, we carry something divine. But to access this essence, you must traverse the difficult terrain of deconstructing the ego's illusions. And here's the question you need to answer. Are you willing to look within yourself with total honesty? This journey requires courage. Because along the way, you will encounter things you'd rather ignore. Fears, insecurities, traumas. You'll hear that voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough or that you'll never be worthy of love. That voice is the ego trying to keep you trapped, but you don't have to believe it. Jesus faced the desert before beginning his mission. For 40 days, he was tempted by the devil, confronted with his human weaknesses. Why did he do this? Because before illuminating the world, he had to face the darkness within himself. And that is exactly what you must do too. The desert is not a physical place. It is a state of being, where you confront everything you're afraid to face. As you walk through this desert, it's important to remember that you are not alone. God is with you, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. The Bible says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. This is the promise that sustains you when everything seems lost. But to move forward, you must be willing to let go. Let go of the stories the ego tells. Let go of the judgments you carry about yourself and others. And this leads us to one of the most challenging steps of this journey: forgiveness. Forgiving is not easy. It's not simply saying, it's okay, when something has deeply hurt you. True forgiveness is an act of liberation. It's not for the person who hurt you, it's for you. Because as long as you hold on to resentment, you remain bound to it. Jesus showed us this on the cross when, even in the midst of pain, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This kind of forgiveness is not human, it is divine. And when you learn to forgive this way, something within you begins to change. The journey to spiritual transformation also requires embracing the impermanence of life. Everything in this world is fleeting. The people we love, the things we achieve, even our physical bodies. This can be frightening, but it is also liberating. Because when you understand that nothing lasts forever, you begin to cherish each moment for what it is. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. If you try to squeeze it, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it stays in your hand. Life is like this. When you stop trying to control everything and simply accept the natural flow of things, you find peace. And here's the final truth I want to share with you. You don't need to become something or someone to find fulfillment. Everything you're searching for is already within you. God is not somewhere distant. He is in the silence, in the stillness of your being. When you strip away all illusions, all that remains is Him. So the question remains, are you ready to cross this portal?